Right on. We are live. What's up, everybody? We'll wait for the comments to get going. Thanks for everyone joining. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. We all saw The Flash this week.
Yep.
So let's see what everyone thought here. But before we jump into it, I thought maybe we'd just do some introductions. I know all of you. I'm not sure if you know each other or if everybody else is following you, but if you're listening to this, you got to be following these gentlemen, man. These are some amazing content creators. So I'll just start just kind of going in a row. Right to the right of me, we got Sonny, Monkey See, Monkey Review. Sonny, how are you doing today, man?
Man, I am doing glorious. It is a wonderful day. Been up, already got some exercise. Dude, let's rock. I'm so excited.
Exercise, man. You're way ahead of me, bro.
Time difference.
You're built different, Sonny. You're built different. All right, then we got Javi from Collective Comics.
How's it going, guys?
Collective Comics, right? Jake's not feeling so well. We're hoping he does better. But how are you, Javi?
Doing pretty well, man. Doing pretty well. Hanging out with the kid this morning. Woke up to him running in the room saying Happy Father's Day. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, great feeling, man. That's awesome, man. And then we'll jump over to Juan. Juan, how are you, my friend?
Doing fantastic. I had band practice last night, so I'm a little druggy right now. So but I'm good.
Right on, man. It's good to have you, man. And then my boy LT, the king of McFarland. What's up, LT? How are you?
How you doing, brother? How you doing, guys? Nice to be here, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course, man. I know at least you and I have talked before, LT. I know you're a big DC fan, so I thought it'd be fun to have you come on with the rest of the group here and see what you thought. So,
cool.
Yeah, let's jump in, man. I thought maybe what we would do is instead of kind of like ranking maybe 1 through 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst movie you've seen in a while, I thought maybe we'd hold off on that a little bit and maybe just kind of talk about some of the positives of the movie. Then we could get into some of the things that maybe weren't so good, and we'll save our ratings maybe for the end. Is that cool?
Awesome.
Cool. Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Well, let's go backwards. LT, let's start for you, man. After watching the movie, what do you think was the standout of The Flash?
Okay, I might be a little biased here, but of course, it was Michael Keaton's Batman.
For sure.
You know, he is my Batman. I saw him when I saw the movie in '89. I was 14 years old, freshman high school, and that stuck with me since. And just to see him back in full form, I mean, there was nothing like old about him. He was not acting old. That guy was just kicking ass all the way through. I mean, he was the highlight. I mean, granted, this was a Flash movie, but as you can see, there was more Batmans than there was Flash.
Yeah.
So, that was the highlight of the movie. I mean, other than that, I did really enjoy the movie. There were some really good high points. There was a little bit of but for the most part, Michael Keaton made that movie for me.
Yeah. I have to agree with that myself. How about you, Mr. Juan?
I gotta piggyback on him and say Michael Keaton. But one thing that I really, really enjoyed and brought me to tears was seeing what's his name? I forget his name now. Superman from when I was a kid. Seeing him as
Reeve.
CGI.
Christopher
Reeves.
Yeah.
Seeing him live action CGI just made me bawl, man. It made me cry. And the person next to me was like, I get it, bro. I was like, yeah. He's like, I get it, bro. Yeah. That was by far my favorite part of the entire movie.
Yeah. There was a lot of little callbacks to, from Batman, from the TV series. It was incredible, man. But that was a good one too, Juan. What about you, Javi?
For me, I kind of have to say Keaton as well. I don't know if you could see, I got a Keaton poster back there. Got a bunch of different prints. Yeah, I've been a big fan of Keaton since I was, 3 or 4 years old. So definitely Keaton coming back, but there's one quote in there. Are we spoiling?
Nah, I think we could spoil. It's all right, man. Yeah.
Alrighty. So there was one quote in there when he said, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." That was my favorite point in the movie because I was literally like, ah! I like almost shot up out of my seat. I had to try and contain myself.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah, Lauren also mentions the Keaton was her highlight as well in the comments. Hey, Lauren, how are you? Sonny, what about you?
So we've talked a lot about Keaton. Keaton was hands down, like we can't sit there and be like, oh, Keaton, everybody. Keaton, of course. That's a given. But surprisingly, one of the characters I enjoyed the most out of this movie was the actress who played Kara Zor-El.
Yeah.
Like seeing her in the previews, I was like, I'm not feeling it. The Flashpoint's dark. But dude, like she came in. I wouldn't be upset now if James Gunn cast her in the new DCU.
Yeah.
Like I thought she held her own.
I have to agree with her name is Sasha Kaye. She did, like, when you watch the commercials, I was like, I'm not too sure about it either, Sonny. And then after I saw her in the movie, I thought, like, we knew Keaton was going to be good because Keaton is Batman. But she was an amazing surprise, man. I mean, I really dug. I dug it. She was awesome, man. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. So she was kind of my big surprise in the movie of someone who came forward that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be myself. But
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
What was yours, Tommy? Tell us your favorite part of it.
I mean, Michael Keaton. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. That is my Batman. I grew up watching all of his movies. The 3 that he did for, I saw Clooney at the end. I always forget Clooney played Batman, to be honest. What is he doing? Oh, damn, I forgot he did have one movie. Oh, poor guy, man. I don't even think it was that bad. I just think it was forgetful because of Keaton and some of the other Batmans that have come after him. But,
especially because he's gone on record saying that he himself admitted he sucked as Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then just to see him at the end, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I had that moment too, but I wasn't even just like, who is that?
Yeah.
I literally had the moment of, who is that? He looks familiar. Like, I can't place him. Why is it such a big deal? Oh, okay.
For me with Clooney, it's he's always overshadowed by Uma Thurman playing Poison Ivy, and we had Bane in that movie. It was just packed with great villains, so I feel like Batman and Robin kind of had to sit on the side for that movie.
Absolutely.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
For as campy a movie that is, whenever it's on TV, I'll watch it. I have to watch it. I cannot just turn it away.
Right.
That's part of the nerd in us. Like, okay, this was really bad, but we're gonna sit through it at least one more time. At least one more time.
Exactly. After watching it though, now I need to go back and watch all of the Keaton Batman to just work my way back up again. That's for sure. That is for sure. So we've been talking a little bit about Batman. We obviously, I think, all agree Keaton is the man. But what about the newest Batman in the DC films? How do you feel he will? I can't remember his name. The young guy that just played Batman. They're working on Batman 2 right now. Where do you
Robert
think
Pattinson?
Robert, yeah, exactly. Where do you think he'll fall in the rankings of Batman? I thought the Batman movie was actually really, really good. Myself.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, it was definitely a standout movie. I think pacing for a lot of people was off.
Yeah.
I do think it was one of those movies where they went a little too long. They could have cut off about 20 minutes and it would have been received a lot better. But I think as far as him, I think he was fantastic as Batman. We'll see how he develops as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I'm here to watch his career in this field.
Yeah.
Me as well. I really enjoyed him. I almost had that kind of what everybody was saying about Keaton before Batman 89 came out. That is the vampire from Twilight going to be able to play Batman? That was like my big question for it. And then I was like, okay, I'll take it.
What do you mean Beetlejuice is going to play Batman? What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, then, this is obviously pre-James Gunn and Peter Safran, right? And actually, we got a couple more movies that are coming from DC that are pre James Gunn and Peter Safran. And I feel bad for Peter because James Gunn really is kind of the guy and the visionary, I think.
Yeah, you don't even hear Peter's name in here.
I know. But So we have Blue Beetle coming up, then we have Aquaman, then we'll jump right into the new DCU. But I know they've been really pushing that The Flash really is kind of that movie that does help tie in the new DC. I don't know if you all feel the same way. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, but I almost felt personally that was more marketing to get as many people out there to watch it, because I think a lot of DC fans are like, man, the next few movies really don't matter if the entire universe is going to change under a new vision. I don't know how you all feel about that.
I agree. I think that's going to be one of the biggest sticking points for getting this movie to even come close to profitability.
Yeah.
You've already shot it in the foot. You've already sat there and said, it don't matter. It's not going to carry over. I think the big thing that's going to tell is not going to be this movie or even Aquaman Lost Kingdom. I think it's going to be Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
Blue Beetle's going to be the tell-all on how the fan base will receive what goes forward.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the Blue Beetle movie, just from what I've seen, looks pretty amazing in the trailer. I don't know. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, how were they going to tie in Aquaman to this whole new, Flash, rewrite of the multiverse?
Yeah.
And then we see that secret ending at the end when he's telling Momoa,
yeah,
you are basically the same person or the same Aquaman in all these different there's different Batmans, but you're basically the same one. So I don't know, did they just throw that at the end to tie them together somehow? I don't know. It just felt like almost rushed, like lazy writing.
That was an afterthought, like, oh, how do we fix this?
Oh yeah,
we want to keep them on. What do we need to throw in there?
That's kind of what I felt about when they first started throwing. They didn't actually show Henry Cavill as Superman up until a little bit later, but that there was that news clip, and it was just the back of him, but it was intended to be Henry Cavill, and we're like, well, we kind of know that he's not coming back, right? That's been like announced and everything. And then I thought the same thing with Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
that she wasn't supposed to be coming back as Wonder Woman, and then she keeps making cameo after cameo after cameo, and I'm like, why leave that in the movie if things are changing, or are you saying that she's gonna stay Wonder Woman? I'll be fine with that, but
I mean, Henry Cavill, I thought, has played an amazing Superman. But I think Gal Gadot has also played an incredible Wonder Woman. So, there's been mixed messages coming from James Gunn concerning Gal Gadot, because I think initially everyone was cut. They were starting from scratch. But then I read an article where there is a future for Gal as Wonder Woman moving forward. And I think that's why they've kept her in the Shazam movie, and then obviously this movie. I've heard that she actually will continue to play. I've heard Momoa will continue to play Aquaman. Really, the odd man out is really Henry Cavill as Superman. But then they did make a comment like, after Superman, this first one where they kind of have a younger version of him, that he could be back as kind of the older version later on down the road. I don't know if they were just saying that to calm people down because there was such an uproar. What do you think, Juan?
Man. Well, so I wanted to go back when we were talking about, I'm losing my mind here. What were we talking about before we got into? Oh yeah, we're talking about the Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
So with Robert Pattinson, I really enjoyed him as Batman because you really kind of see a Batman that's trying to figure himself out, and I thought he was the best detective. And then at the end of the movie, you see how Batman goes one way and Catwoman goes another way. Yeah. It's kind of saying that this is going to be an Elseworld type of movie, because James Gunn did say he's going to have Elseworld films and television shows as well. So I think this is probably going to stick into the Elseworld. I think it's going to do that. And I think in saying that, that just leaves open for like possibilities of Henry Cavill coming back. And, we've seen Gal Gadot being sprinkled in different movies. We're not really knowing if she's going to be in it or not, because the direction of what Peter Safran and James Gunn are trying to do, we don't really know yet. know the movies that are going to come. But
yeah.
I don't know. If they're going to do a multiverse, I feel like there is a spot for all these characters that, you know, we're kind of putting on the back burner or just like not thinking about anymore, like Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot and all these characters. They may reappear just as cameos or just in the multiverse, but I don't know. I feel like I feel like DC is heading in the right direction, and then after watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I'm excited to see, you know, what James Gunn's going to bring to the DC universe, because that guy really, James Gunn really has proved himself that he can take lesser to unknown characters and make them household names, and he's shown that he can do that. And I feel like whatever James Gunn has, like, here's my money, take it. I don't care what you do. Just bring us some good stuff, right? And I don't know. I just love the direction that's what's happening right now.
Just look at his take on Suicide Squad, you know, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
A totally different movie from the first one. I mean, basically the same characters with new ones, but the feel and look of the movie was just totally different, and it was better, way better.
Yeah, way better.
It's definitely better. Definitely. Lauren says she doesn't care for Affleck, and she thinks Christian Bale is better, and Robert Pattinson is okay. And I agree. I mean, Christian Bale, I thought is my number 2 Batman for sure. That Dark Knight series I thought was pretty amazing, but I don't know how you all feel about Christian Bale. We really haven't talked about him, and he didn't make an appearance.
No, that was odd too. Actually, I would have expected him more over than George Clooney.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that was just for the sake of doing it at that point.
I mean, Clooney's only been in like one movie in the last couple of years, right? I think he had that comedy that just came out, so maybe he needed it more than Christian Bale. I don't know.
I definitely think it was one of those moments where there was like, hey, let's troll the fans a little bit. Like, let's get them all hyped up, and let's throw in Clooney. Nobody will
piss them off.
DC's good at that, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're getting really good at that.
They are, and you know, Gunn is just going to be over the top with it. You know, he's going to bring in some characters that you're just going to be like, why did they bring him in? Like, who is this character?
Yeah, I read here yesterday, or actually this morning, that this last added scene with Clooney was only 6 months old. They barely filmed this 6 months ago. And there was like, I think they had filmed 2 other endings before, and one of them, of course, was Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot at the end. But they scrapped that with the whole Peter Gunn, you know, or takeover type thing. And then they were joking. This is again all I read, and this could be all just rumor, conjecture on fan part, but supposedly he said they were like joking around. Well, let's see how many more Batmans we can get in, and they threw in Clooney's name, and 6 months ago they filmed that.
He probably was on another set somewhere, maybe like a half mile down the road.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Go get Clooney! Go get Clooney! Bring him in the shot."
So I found something. I was doing a quick some Googling, and I found something saying that we were supposed to originally get this movie in 2018. I didn't realize that it was that long ago. I know we've been waiting a while, and it's been pushed back multiple times, but I didn't realize it was 2018, which is when Marvel opened up their multiverse.
If you recall, when it was announced, it was
in production.
It was called
for 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Been in
and when it was
for 9 years.
when it was introduced, it was called Flashpoint. It was not the Flash.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
So
Lauren said Nicolas Cage as Superman. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think he read for a script many years ago, and it got squashed, right? But then we saw him in there, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I like Nicolas Cage in certain things, but I mean, he'll always be Ghost Rider to me for some reason. That's
right.
Happened,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Well, that Nicolas Cage movie was
that bad. Was that LG?
it was. I said that Nicolas Cage original movie was written by Tim Burton right after Batman. Yeah, so that could have been just a heavy nod to Tim Burton for for giving us Batman, Keaton Batman. But
Yeah.
when I saw him, I was like, what? Wait, first of all, why does he have long hair? And then you see Nick Cage's face, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he's a
y'all
big
know the story
Superman
behind
fan.
that, correct? So it literally after the Batman came out, the original one from 1989, Nicolas Cage went to Warner Brothers and pitched them a Superman movie,
Yeah.
and he was going to play Superman. So the scene where we have him all in the suit, long hair, that was actually taken from shots of him doing test shots in the suit.
Oh,
They got that far into it before Warner Brothers was like, maybe we should pump the brakes.
Yes.
So I mean,
Oh,
that was a legit story in the
voice.
movie that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank you for hitting the brakes,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Y'all missed the mark on some stuff, but y'all nailed that one.
Thank you for letting it happen in an Elseworld that we're not seeing. You know.
Right.
Wow.
Oh,
All right. What is the low point of the movie for everybody? Who wants to go first?
Ooh. Okay, I think I could go first. So
All right, let's do it.
that's only because the low point is kind of the high point for me at the same time. Well, maybe I should go last then. Maybe I should go last then. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Hold on to yours. I'll go. I have no
Okay.
problem with my opinion out there.
All right, Sonny.
Oh gosh, where do I start? So here's one of the big low parts for me. The CGI was terrible.
Yeah.
And I know the director has now come out and said, "Oh, we planned it like that because that was supposed to be from the Flash's point of view." Sweetheart, the Flash isn't watching the movie. We as the audience are. If you are giving us something and we're not liking it, you missed your point.
Yeah.
It don't matter. Secondly, this is then and then I'll get off my soapbox. Secondly, Ezra Miller in this movie. Ezra Miller, in my opinion, is a good actor.
Mhm.
They have done really good roles out there. And if you've ever seen them in any other movie, you know that he can be a good actor. But in this one felt hardcore dialed in. So it's like, all right, we'll show up for a check. And it literally was just, for me, that was the lowest point of the movie. Could not get into his Barry Allen or, even the alternative universe Barry Allen. Both of them were just annoying. So throw the stones. Go ahead. I am here to catch.
All good, man. Anybody else?
Well, the
So I'll
CGI
say-
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to agree with you, but no, go ahead. The CGI part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it would have to be what they did with Flash. This whole
The flamingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way he was.
The pose before.
Yeah. What is that? And then the way he was running and I don't know. I just didn't really feel. I love the Flash series on CW and Grant Gustin, and the way he goes into Flash into the Speed Force is perfect. I thought that is perfect, and they should have adapted from that. But what they did, there's some parts that I did like when he did go into the Speed Force, but this whole, I didn't really care for it. I didn't care for it at all. But
The wind up.
Yeah.
it was
I mean,
like
that whole.
he was winding himself up.
I don't know. Me and my buddy went to see this movie, and after we got out, I was just like, dude, how many millions did they drop on this movie? And y'all couldn't hire a trainer, someone who actually ran professionally for a college? Y'all could have got an intern just to come in for some school credit, just to sit there and say, hey, this ain't real. Nobody's running the Olympics like this, bro. You got to stop.
Right.
I think he was trying to go more for this and just.
Lauren said the babies falling were pretty tough to watch. CGI. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have to agree.
that was hilarious.
There was some babies that looked just not real compared to a couple, but like the one he stuffed in the microwave, and
That's what I was thinking.
some were just god awful CG. But I mean, I don't know where the budget went on that part. I mean, compared to what we saw in the Speed Force, that was 100 times better.
Yeah.
The Speed Force CGI was really bad, and of course, like you said, he's come out and said that's what it was supposed to be, but no,
Yeah.
no.
Lauren said the microwave. WTF?
Yeah.
I
I kept waiting. Like I stayed, of course, Marvel's trained us to stay through the whole credits now. Like I was going to the end of this movie going, where's the warning label? Do
Yeah,
not put
yeah.
baby in the
Not put-
microwave.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting sued now.
Right. No children were harmed in the making of this movie
Yeah,
or
like-
something like that. Like they put on the
Yeah, well, of course they put it at the end that animal APC, the no animals were hurt, especially
the dog,
the dog falling.
tongue hanging out. Actually, I thought the CGI on the dog was better than all the babies.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, wow, the dog is actually pretty good. It's the babies
Right.
that was terrible.
We have a
Yeah.
3-minute clip in the end credits where the dog's just going, "Blah."
Yeah.
And it was better than the baby. Even in the microwave at the end when they're just laying there.
right.
It's
They
so-
put some serious detail into that face.
Yeah,
At
man.
that point.
Yeah. See, piggyback on Sunny, the CGI on some parts, like the battle scenes,
Yeah.
anything other than the baby scene or the Speed Force were like spot on, really good. Kara flying, fighting, everything. Those were good compared to the other ones. So I don't know if they had different companies making different CGI segments. I don't know, but
So-
I think
I heard they
They-
went back, LT, and they had to redo quite a few scenes, if I'm not mistaken, like a lot.
well,
Wondering
they
if that-
definitely have had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, this movie's been in production and on hold for like 3 years. Like it was supposed to be out, like I said, 2019.
Yeah.
This is where I honestly, this is me reading the tea leaves going in on it. David Zaslav came in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in that range. And I think he literally sat down and said, we're hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
What's on the schedule? Let me watch it. And he watched The Flash and he's just like, I'll give you $20. Just fix this.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 300 mil in.
yeah.
And I know they're now reporting 220, but 300 million is what they've been saying for 2 years.
Yeah.
Y'all, come on.
That price, I think, right there was why they didn't want to scrap it like they did
Yeah.
Batgirl.
They
You know?
had to make something off of it.
They had to make something off it, even if they had to rewrite it, reshoot it, whatever. Add Clooney to the end of it.
Yeah.
That's
They
gonna
needed-
pull him through, LT. That'll pull him
Right.
through.
That was at
That's
least
going to
50
get him in
mil.
the seats. Clooney.
The worst
Sorry.
Batman will save this movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that being said, if they make at least close to their money back, they'll call it a success. But I don't think we're going to be seeing a Flash 2 or maybe a Flash 2, but not with Ezra Miller. It's going to be
I think
There's
after
no-
this one, and as poorly as this being received right now, I really do not think that this is going to get greenlit for a sequel. I honestly will see them having a conversation with James Gunn saying, 5 years before you can do anything with the Flash again, we've got to let this wash. We've got to let this get out of the people's memories and out of their taste. Because, I mean, I was walking through Hobby Lobby last night, and a buddy of mine, like I saw him going into movies. I was like, just prepare yourself. And he walked into me last night at Hobby Lobby. He was like, dude, you were right. Like it was so bad. I was just like, and then the first thing he said, those babies, man. I was just
The microwave. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
right. The babies, man.
Oh man.
It was bad. Like, I don't know, man. And I agree with you, LD. You got to make at least something back off of this. It's never going to balance. They put probably another $1 million into for the advertising of this, so they're probably going to be 400 million in. You know,
well,
or
not to
another
mention
100 million, excuse me,
any
but they're
money
probably
they've
50 to 100 million in. So they're going to be
Right.
450, 500 million just to break even.
Mhm.
And that's if they were getting all the money from the theaters. And we know theaters take a cut. So this movie, in my honest opinion, you're going to have to come in 750 to 800 million to break even. And I don't see it happening. I see this going to HBO Max in about 2 months, and I see it going to Blu-ray and DVD in about a month and a half, just to try to get that crowd in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a collector set, maybe, or something like that. I feel you got to also keep in mind that they have the cutting cost of cutting Batgirl, and then I mean these actors are expensive. When they hire, I think they said they hired Gal Gadot or were going to hire her for another Wonder Woman, for like 80 million was her payout, and I was like, that is so crazy. I can't even imagine what Keaton was. And now you have a movie that you shot with Keaton, and then you scrapped it, and now you have another movie that you have to pay Keaton for. Like, I'm sure it's a pretty penny to get Keaton back in the bat suit. You know, that had to be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was not a cheap
I
check.
have
to
the
write.
numbers through today. So the movie opened at 60 million. They were thinking it would do about 72. So it was a little below where they were hoping to be. And then globally, it's done about 155 million. And to your point, Sonny, we don't know what the actual cost of the production of the movie is with all the redos. But the number that's being thrown out there, at least in internet world, is about 220. So they got to be at probably 354 just to break even, I would think, with all the reshoots, because I'm not sure that 220 takes in consideration all the reshoots. You know, it's only been the first weekend, right? So it's going to be in theaters for a couple weeks. I think there's a chance that they break even, but this will definitely not be $1 billion movie. I don't think at all anywhere close to that. And I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, we'll get into where we kind of rank it amongst other DC movies and maybe 1 through 5. I thought it was enjoyable, but there were certainly areas of opportunity that if they would have spent a little more time on, I felt like they could have done a lot better. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things if y'all would have just put a little bit more effort into making Barry Allen believable. Because that was the thing. Like, Barry Allen, he's a comic. He cuts up. He has fun. Even, you know, this one, he was just hungry. Like, the constant seeing him eating things it kept taking me out. I'm like, listen, we all know as the fan, that's a part of his story. He's got to have the calories. But, dude, like, him downing a hot dog in 2 bites, not what I want to see.
I feel like they kind of did the same thing in Black Adam with Atom Smasher. Yeah, and he was just eating all the time. It was just a constant reference. He had a bucket of chicken with him. He had all this different food and stuff.
It became the sight gag for him.
Yeah.
Starting to see a pattern, I think, in DC movies moving forward. Maybe
everybody's got the munchies.
What can we make a meme out of? What's meme worthy? You know?
So with the Flash, right? We've had Black Adam. We've had the Flash. What was before Black Adam that came out?
We had Shazam 2.
Shazam
then we had
2.
Black Adam.
All right, so let's just take Shazam 2, Black Adam, and Flash. Let's rank those 3 movies, number 1 being the best, number 3 being the worst. Why don't we start with you, Juan? Where would you rank those 3 movies, best to worst, in the last 3 DC movies that have come out?
Okay, so I'll start with worst and go Black Adam. And then I'll go 2 Shazam and then 1 Flash.
Gotcha. Yep. How about you, LT?
Yeah, Flash 1, Shazam 2, and Black Adam 3.
Yeah.
3 being the worst.
Yeah. Javi?
Right, definitely. Up for number 1 is going to be the Flash, purely on Keaton.
Yeah.
Purely on Keaton. I feel like it might be everybody's opinion.
I'm sure his shoulders are probably hurting today.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed Black Adam.
Me too.
All the references and stuff, but then for it to just be kind of a junk movie, you know, so I'm gonna put that one too, and then Shazam I'm gonna throw in 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall in there with number 3, Black Adam. I was really hoping Black Adam was gonna be better. I think that was the part for me, Black Adam.
Yeah.
It didn't hit what I was hoping it for, so it was for me.
Yeah.
Then so that would be number 3. Number 2, Shazam 2. And I really enjoyed Shazam 1. And I think that was the thing. If y'all would have just kept that humor rolling from the first one, but they didn't. And then they brought in satanically possessed unicorns. So, these are unicorns straight from the pit, you know? So,
in my opinion, would have made those 2 movies, Shazam and Black Adam 2, monstrously better as if they combined them, if they introduced them, if they that's his bad guy, that's his good, you know. Why did they not connect them?
Dwayne didn't want to do it.
Dwayne sat there and put his foot down. That was exactly what happened.
And look where they are now.
Exactly.
Y'all got to quit letting the
Hero did
actors
that, to be honest.
come in and have a say.
Yeah.
Y'all got to come in and say, "Hey, we're writing the check. So if you want yours on this check, your name on this check,
Yeah.
you're going to do what we want you to do."
Right.
I feel like before Peter and James, I don't think that kind of leadership was taking place at WB. So you have Wayne Johnson, who is one of the biggest movie stars there is, right? I feel like maybe they gave him a little bit too much power in making some decisions on behalf of the WB, and it didn't work out. But
Yep.
Well,
But I
his
also think-
production studio, it was like his production studio that he owns
Yeah.
that
and
helped
his
make that
wife
movie.
was also like Henry Cavill's
Agent. Yeah.
So there was a lot of conflicts right there.
yeah,
And like even him coming out, like, and the word is like he didn't go through the studio, he just threw it out there. Oh yeah, Henry Cavill and me are gonna duke it out in the next one,
yeah,
and all this
Mhm.
stuff, and it's just like, dude. But I'll be honest, as much as I do like The Rock, I think he's permanently damaged his brand at this point.
yeah.
It's going to take a few years and a few good movies to salvage what he's done since 2021.
Well, he hasn't been on the radar since.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Ever
far as
since then, he went MIA.
Yeah,
And,
his show
He's got his
on
tequila thing.
his
Yes.
show just got canceled. The Young Rock.
Oh, yeah.
The XFL's losing a lot of money. He's he's just
Mhm.
yes. So I think he's just keeping it incognito for a while.
Well, I was
Well,
at
he's back
Costco
in-
and I saw a pallet of his tequila, so maybe that's what's holding him. Go ahead, Juan. Sorry.
Well, he's back in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh,
He's
that's
got
true.
that.
Yeah,
Tell me you're not hurting when you go back to a franchise you dogged for 3 years,
Yeah,
and all of a
exactly.
sudden you're showing up at the end going, "I'm back."
On
Tell me
movie
you're not.
89.
You're looking for a check, bro. You're looking for a check. You're hurting. And,
Yeah.
hey, dude, you're making more money than I probably will ever make in my life.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, man. Get that money. But
Yeah.
dude, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would have to rank Flash 1. I thought that was the best out of the last 3, but I would go Black Adam and then Shazam 2. I love Shazam 1. I thought that was one of my top movies of DC in the last few years.
Yeah.
Shazam 2 didn't do it for me for some reason. Maybe it was the satanic unicorns. I'm not sure what it was. And it wasn't terrible by any means. I thought it was good, but just wasn't. I didn't do it for me, man. I walked out of the theater going, I could have waited for that to come on HBO Max.
Yeah.
But so that's how I would rank it. Yeah, it's interesting to see. I thought maybe with Ezra Miller, I think he's done. Although they're talking a little bit like, hey, if this movie does well, he could be back. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little torn on that when you have what's his name from Marvel who's lost his job and he hasn't even gone through like the proper hasn't gone to court, he hasn't really been arraigned on anything, and he's lost everything.
Majors.
Ezra Miller, who is literally arrested like every other week, and they're giving him another chance. Something doesn't jive with me with that. I don't know, man. I know they're two different companies and maybe they're just doing differently, but something about that kind of bothers me. I don't know.
Like what? If the movie does well and it shows dollar signs, you're gonna have him back, even though he's kind of a piece of crap.
Know. I think you move on. I think you got to move on.
Mhm.
I think you've got to cut ties. If you don't cut ties at this
It's
point,
the right thing to do.
yeah,
I'd rather have what's his name from the CW show.
Grant
step in.
Gustin.
He's great.
Grant Gustin,
give me
yeah.
Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
And on Facebook and on other places, I'll do polls, 2 or 3 times, every few months about that. Like, who do you want to see take over? And I'll throw in different actors that are being mentioned. But dude, Grant Gustin is
awesome.
Overall winner every time I do a poll. Everybody wants to see Grant Gustin come back. Most people don't care about Ezra Miller, and they haven't cared about him since what was that the Wallflower movie?
The Wallflower.
Perks of being a wallflower.
Perks of being a Wallflower.
Yeah.
Thank you. Or a Wallflower.
Who my 26-year-old said was amazing. I've never seen it, but she said it's absolutely incredible.
My daughter loves that movie.
Yeah.
I've watched it
You're
one
about the same
time.
age, LT,
Emotionally, it's all I can handle.
Yeah.
But but in that movie, you see Ezra Miller has the range to be a good actor.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of like demons that I think he needs help. I don't know what's going on, man. I haven't dug into all the things. All I know is he's been arrested several times, and it just seems like this guy gets chance after chance after chance. And then you go to another network, and you don't hear anything, and all of a sudden one person accuses. And again, if it's true and
Right.
he did do those things, he
It's
should
true,
be held accountable, right? But if it's not, I mean, you got to at least go through the proper process to find whether he's guilty or not before he loses everything. And yet Ezra's got a movie out right now, so I don't know. That kind of bothers me. Lauren says, "Yeah, bring back the WB Flash." She's in agreement.
Yeah.
If we're going to get season
What-
4 of Superman and Lois, give us another,
Yeah.
real chance at Grant Gustin.
Yeah,
I loved his character.
yeah.
Yeah, they missed a great opportunity. If you're familiar with the comics, there was a time where Barry Allen and Wally West are running in a circle, making a tornado
Yeah,
to
that's right.
the point where Flash Barry Allen was going so fast. No, Wally, or was
Wally.
it? I think it was
I think
Wally.
it's Wally.
Yeah. Wally was running so fast, and he was like, "Tell my girlfriend I love her. She's gonna hate me for this." And he ran
Yeah.
so fast that he just disappeared. They
Yeah.
missed an awesome opportunity to do that, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden have Grant Gustin, boom, just come out of nowhere, and then that's who we have as our new Flash. They missed an awesome opportunity to do that, and I think a lot of people who follow the comics and know the different Flashes would like, that is awesome, and I think that would have propelled this movie even more for me,
Well,
even though I
yes.
really did love it. But yeah, they missed a great opportunity to do
Especially when you've already seen Ezra Miller on the Flash series when he came out on the
that. Yes.
Crisis.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
he was part of the multiverse.
Yep.
Yes.
Nah,
That
good
could have
point.
just come back around here in the movie.
Mhm.
Boom, we got Grant Gustin. So
Mhm.
Agree.
Yep.
Well, we've all seen the Blue Beetle trailer. It's been hitting hard. It was on, right before the movie as well. Do we think Blue Beetle is going to be better than the Flash?
Oh, let me ask this real quick.
Yeah, please, Sonny.
Does anybody else go back and watch it? Because I've watched this trailer a dozen times, and I'm like, what's the feeling? It's giving me some kind of like connection to something. I'm like, what am I feeling though? Go back and rewatch it and tell me if you are not getting Black Panther 1 vibes off that trailer.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
I mean, I sat there in the theater this week and I was just like
Yeah.
that's what I'm remembering, because it has those same colors,
Yeah.
that same vibe of, just,
Mhm.
I was waiting for Okoye to show up. I was like, okay, let's see. I think it's going to be the best chance that the DC has right now to get some new blood in it. I think it's definitely what's needed. I
Yeah.
think they need to come out hard and say this is not attached to the Snyderverse. There
Yeah.
needs to be interviews going on a regular. There needs to be a lot of conversations being had with the actors and actresses in this movie, and they need to establish this is not connected to the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
This is going to be connected to the James Gunn verse.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only way you can get the fans kind of back into the movie,
Yeah.
because you damaged the brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lauren says it gave her Venom vibes after watching.
Huh.
I'm,
see
I'm
that.
really interested to see how this one plays out. It looks fly.
I'm really excited because I really like I'm forgetting his name now. But
Jaime?
the kid that's the kid that's playing, but no, his actual name.
Really into
Oh,
actor
something-
thing.
Yeah, the actor's name. It's a little weird. But he plays Miguel in Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
Karate Kid and a huge Cobra Kai fan.
yeah.
So I'm kind of going into it like, am I just gonna see Miguel from Cobra Kai? Because that's kind of all I saw, and I kind of got attached to it, and I'm like, but this isn't Cobra Kai
Yeah.
for some reason. So I'm kind of a little bit worried about it, but at the same time, I'm excited to see him play a superhero. I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I'm hoping they tie it in or mention the older Blue Beetle, like Ted Kord.
Yeah.
We need to establish the history of Blue Beetle somewhere. I mean, are they going to include where Ted Kord was murdered back in the day? Was it an Infinite Crisis, Identity Crisis?
Crisis. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we're
Where-
gonna get some kind of connection, because I know we've seen him flying the Blue Beetle ship.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
that's
even
Ted
seen
Kord's
the
Blue.
costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really think we're gonna get that. Now, will it be satisfactory for us old school nerds.
Right.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I do think we're going to get some good connection there.
Now I know I started collecting the new Jaime Reyes back when it started, but and he was originally from El Paso. That's what got me. I'm a Texas boy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, we got a superhero from Texas, and now we're finding here it's not. They rewrote the whole where he's from. Like I'm not sure if it's Los
Origin
Angeles
story.
or what, or it's not
It's like
Texas.
it's LA, right?
So
Yeah.
they've already messed with the my timeline as far as fandom.
Let's tease out. I'm not seeing that crap.
Right, forget it. But I am curious to see how they are true to, because in the comics, I don't know if you ever saw read those comics. It was very Mexican American. It was very Mexican heritage.
Yep.
Bilingual, in fact, in a lot of parts.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to establish it here, especially in this whole new way of era of thinking of inclusion as far as ethnicities and movies and stuff.
Mhm.
Are they gonna use that? I mean, honestly, I don't care if they don't. I'm more focused on Blue Beetle himself.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just hope they don't Hollywoodize it, like, or glamorize it to what's a good I hope they don't make it come off like Batman Forever and Batman for all splashy colors and also
Yeah.
I wanted to, I mean, we already saw Blue Beetle's outfit and it's spot on. I love it.
Yeah.
It's spot
It
on.
looks
Mhm.
great.
He looks dope as hell in this outfit for sure. His uniform is
Oh
incredible.
Yeah,
So
I
cool.
just hope they don't let what's his face, the comedian George Lopez run away with it for some reason.
Yeah.
Let him
That's a big
play a
concern.
side role.
Yeah. I'm not a big George Lopez fan, man. I don't think he does a lot really good for the community, the Hispanic community.
Yeah, old school George Lopez.
I hear them
Originally,
talking.
he was
and
great.
Yeah.
The last 10 years or so, it's been very PC.
Yeah.
POC and things like that. And it's just like, just give us good characters. Like,
Yeah.
in the nerd,
Yeah.
in our community, we've never had problems with
Yeah.
diversity.
Yeah.
It's just when you told us we were terrible for not,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you'll see a big push on the Hispanic American, just like the comic book. That's the feeling that I got, and I think that's okay. I think, I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, that's who he is, right? So I just hope the movie is good, but it looks good from the trailer. The character looks awesome. The uniform looks spot on. I hope it's a good one. But I'm super excited about this one. I feel like this could maybe be a turning point. Although I said the same thing with The Flash, and then I walked down and said, hey, I enjoyed The Flash. I'm not sure it was a turning point for DC, but I did enjoy it. But I'm hoping Blue Beetle is that. But I keep reminding myself, Peter and James really haven't started yet. And they won't start until before.
Superman.
So I don't want to get too disappointed with Blue Beetle if it's not as good as I was hoping it would be. I will tell you, I think Aquaman 2 is not going to do very well. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of negative things about that movie already. They're already remaking a bunch of portions of it, which means they don't believe in what they completed. So I feel like that is going to be somewhat of a bomb. I think it might be worse than actually Flash. I do think the Flash will pull out for $450 million, and everyone will call that a success because they didn't lose money. But I think Aquaman's going to lose money. I think there's a lot more CGI in Aquaman. And if they are going to utilize the same type of CGI, which I'm sure they did in Aquaman, that's going to mean it's not going to be great. So I'm really hoping Blue Beetle is good. We have a speed bump on Aquaman, and then we jump right into Superman Legacy, and then we can kind of put all this behind us. And I'm really liking the direction James is going with Superman, right? It's not going to be too much comedy. There's going to be a more serious tone to it. It's going to really dive into a younger Clark Kent, which I'm really excited about. So let's see what happens. I'm a big Henry Cavill fan, to be honest. I think he was as perfect as you could get of a Superman. So I'm not saying that the Snyderverse was the greatest thing ever, although I did enjoy Justice League, the Snyder Cut. But anyways, let's see what happens, man.
The only thing I hope Peter Gunn does, not Peter, Peter Gunn. I keep on saying James Gunn, yeah.
James
Peter Gunn.
Gunn.
Isn't that a song?
We know
Peter
what you
Gunn?
meant.
James Gunn. Anyway, I hope when he takes over, we don't see every movie give us an origin story. I think everyone is established. We shouldn't see an origin story. And I mean, that's why when they said Superman is going to be a young Clark Kent, we're not going back to him getting, Krypton and all that stuff. And I hope we don't see Batman's parents get killed again. We don't see Flash getting his powers. We know the characters, and I think even the younger kids today know already the history. If they have an inkling of a good parentage in their, they've already been taught that Spider-Man got bit by a spider, Batman's parents got killed.
Yeah.
We don't need to see it every time there's a reintroduction. So I'm hoping these new movies are made that way. Blue Beetle is a first, so of course that's going to be an origin story.
Yeah,
And
it
this is
has
the first
to
time
be,
we ever
right?
seen it. Yeah.
And to your point, LT, I hope he brings some of that history. I'm hoping that there's a little nod to Booster Gold in that as well. That would be amazing, right? Because we know that there's going to be a TV series on Max of Booster Gold. So how do you tie that in together with Blue Beetle too? Because we know that there has been those connections in the past too. So that's the one origin story I think a lot of people need, because Blue Beetle really is like a C character, right? Unless you're a big fan of Blue Beetle, you really don't know a ton about Blue Beetle. And I think they need to establish who Blue Beetle is and the lineage of Blue Beetles that have gotten up to the point that we're at today.
Yeah. So that brings me to a question. I'll get y'all's thoughts on it too. We've seen the original Blue Beetle ship. We've seen his costume. Do you think that us going into this new James Gunn verse, is it going to give us a new renaissance of like DC heroes, where when they did the new storyline, they scrapped all the old characters like the Jay Garrett and all of them, but then they reestablished them later as the forebearers? Do you think we'll ever get a chance to go back and see some of the earlier adventures of the former title bearers?
Yeah.
The Green Lanterns, Jay Garrett's, all that.
Alex Scott,
Yeah. It'd be interesting. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I feel like he wants to take stories and really concentrate just on that story without bringing a lot in, at least in the interviews that I've heard. I don't know if you all feel the same way. I think there's a place for both of it, to be honest. I think you could honor the past while still pushing forward. Yeah. Even in the Flash, right? We saw Garrett. We saw a lot of the older Flash as well make quick appearances. Terrible CGI, but they were there.
Right. And the reason because we've seen him drop breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
We've seen him dropping clues.
Yeah.
I think the end game for him over this next 10 years is going to be Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
If you go through the Kingdom Come story, you do it the right way.
Right now, man.
You got to bring in the past. These were the grandparents, the parents, and the generation that comes afterwards who lost their mind. And you have to bring in all the old school to help bring order to the new school.
Yeah.
I think that.
I think maybe he might adapt the Kingdom Come and then do what's going on in the comics now, where the Justice League now has been handed over to Young Justice. So like all the Young Justice members are now really like Dick Grayson is now Nightwing is the head of the Justice League. So maybe he's moving into that direction, because Blue Beetle is a part of Young Justice.
That's right.
So maybe he is moving. Maybe he is moving into that direction where he is moving to like, all right, let's do this. This is happening already in the comics. Why don't we just go ahead and adapt to that? Yeah. So doing Kingdom Come, and then you know how like Marvel and all DC movies do this. They take adaptations and they kind of put their twist on it, like they did in Flash. Which there's some parts in the Flash that I didn't like, that they didn't really, hold true to Flashpoint Paradox, and I didn't really care for it. But I understand why they did it, because we already have a Flashpoint Paradox animated movie, which is absolutely amazing. But I think that's what he's probably doing, is setting up for a Young Justice being Justice League. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I know they're making a big push in the comics for that to take place. you're not going to get rid of Batman. I don't care what you do. I mean, I love Nightwing.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Oh,
The Batman ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, 50% of DC's comics are Batman or Batman family related. So just like in Marvel, it's not 50%, but it's a high, you know, almost 30% Spider-Man, right? So Marvel and DC both know who pays the bills, and it's Batman for DC.
And we saw
And
that in the Flash. We had 4 different Batman.
And in the action figure standpoint,
Oh yeah,
McFarlane gets. I mean, everyone and their mother's dog complains about why does he concentrate on Batman figures? And they went, "Come on, man, he sell
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Batman."
Yeah.
I know, I hear
Batman.
that too, man.
I mean, half of the McFarlane library of DC Multiverse is Batman, and
Yeah.
people cry about it. I'm like, dude, bring me more Batman.
Yeah.
Well,
I
mean,
think a
what was
big
it,
thing.
2 years ago? Sorry, 2 years ago, like Batman was the only DC comic that was in the top 30 for sellers.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everything else was 30 and up.
yeah,
You're the only thing that broke the top 30.
yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
milk it.
Yeah.
Make the money off of it. Yep.
Right.
What were you gonna say, Javi? What were you gonna say, Javi?
Oh, I think that it's another one of those things that Batman is just so recognizable, and they, just back in the day, having the Bat logo and everything just established a good brand at that point. So if you took 10 random people that know nothing about comics and showed them random DC logos, I think every single one of them is gonna get the Batman logo, even if they've never watched Batman. Actually, they know
Right.
what it is.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
Lauren says the one of the only things that would probably save Aquaman 2 is to bring Keaton into that movie as well.
Hey, we saw in the Batcave
Good.
there is an
Good.
Aqua Batman suit, so it don't
Yes.
put it past
Right?
me.
Yeah. Little mask and a snorkel, bro. That was awesome.
Right.
Oh, can you imagine? All right, we need Keaton, man. We need Keaton for this one.
Right.
I,
That
Bring
kind of
him
almost
I do.
brings us back to those highlights.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about highlights
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
What were you gonna say,
I have to
Juan?
say first, I was gonna say like because you were LT, you were talking about figures, action figures and whatnot, and I follow you, LT, and obviously I follow Tommy here, but watching you guys and show your action figures like all the time makes me want to spend money on action figures, and I can't do it. I spend too much money
man.
on comic books.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't think you
addicted.
understand the amount of money we spend on action figures.
Dude, like I want to so bad. I got these little guys. Like I got these
You
little
don't
guys.
know.
That's what I can afford right there. The $7.99 guys.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
superpowers. Yeah, no,
I'm constantly like sending LT a message. Have you seen Captain Atom? I cannot find it anywhere. He's like, I haven't seen it either. So yeah, no, it's a disease.
yeah, I follow all the message boards, the forums,
Yep.
just to get sneak peeks of what people have found, and I'm addicted, man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
man. All right, let's
Tommy,
do highlights.
one last
go ahead,
thing.
Tom.
That Superman you just showed the other day, man. That's the one I want. That
Dude, this
Superman
one right
is
here?
amazing looking.
This one right here is
yeah,
incredible. man.
Oh, yes,
There you
I
go.
want it.
That's beautiful.
I'm a huge Superman fan. And
Yeah,
that is
when I
absolutely
saw that
beautiful.
LT drop, dude, I was like, oh hell yeah.
That's beautiful.
That is
I was so
beautiful.
excited.
I love those little statues that they do. I picked up a Black Adam one, and then I have another little Superman that's
And
similar.
then the
Yeah.
Batman Hush is a beautiful
Oh,
one too.
that one's
Oh,
nice. I have it right here, man. The Hush is one of the
And
best
they're
ones.
$40. They're cheap compared to what you know.
That's
Look,
not
there he
bad.
is.
Oh,
That's
yes.
There it is.
Yeah, the Hush
That's
is one of my favorite figures that McFarlane's ever put out. This 12-inch.
It's that gray and
My-
blue.
My wallet is emptying as we speak.
Yeah, no, I'm
Texting
kind of
your
scared
wife.
quietly because my wife doesn't know half the toys that get delivered to the house. So
They sponsored me, I swear.
she's funny.
This is
It's
gonna
like
make
that
this money
TikTok.
one
They
day,
gave
I
it to
swear
me.
it. Just give me time.
All right, guys, let's jump into highlights. What was the biggest? I think we talked a little bit about Keaton, but let's put Keaton to the side because I think we all agree Keaton was amazing, and I hope they utilize him more often because he's just an incredible Batman. When he put the mask on and he was using those same lines that he used back in '89,
Yep.
you couldn't tell the difference between today's and that Batman. It was that perfect in my eyes. So I think we all agree, man. Keaton stole the show. But outside of that, what do we think were some of the highlights of the movie? Like, we should have a Flash highlight, I think, in a Flash movie. And so far, all of our highlights have been Batman related.
I'll say this for a highlight for me. The battle with Zod.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I remember seeing Man of Steel. Good enough.
Yeah.
I thought the battle looked good. But I don't know. I felt like in this one, the battle was Zod and the U.S. Army and all that going at it. I just thought they took it to a whole nother level. Yeah. It really came across as one of the like pivotal moments for me. I was just like, okay, these guys are not like
nice.
Yeah. The CGI was actually really good.
Yes.
Yeah, there it was good.
Yeah. How many times like do these movie studios get to like learn from their mistakes, you know, and get to redo that? Oh, yeah, definitely. It looked really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
if
think
nothing else, they learned that with the whole Schneider.
The babies falling out of the building and then the battle and say, don't do this ever again and do more of this. And that's right?
Exactly.
Here's our post conversation. So what did we learn?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Let's do the same thing.
Notepads out. We're taking notes, kids.
So do we all agree kind of the battle was the highlights?
The battle.
Well, I love the battle, but the highlight for me was in the battle when Barry realized no matter what he did to change the past, it finally dawned on him, the butterfly effect, you know, or whatever, that you can't change it no matter what you do. And then until he had to even battle himself to realize you can't change it. He's just going to have to accept reality, let his mom die. That was sad. And that was like, wow, that was the good, you know, learning moment for, I guess, any superhero to realize you need to put away your personal, you know, differences or whatever wants for the greater good.
Your own agenda.
Yeah. So that was my highlight. Again, tied to that awesome battle because that was part of it when he just realized you no matter what you do, you see Keaton die, you see Kara die, and no matter what you did, they still died no matter what. It killed me when Keaton died those 3 times. I'm like, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
there was great character development at that point.
Oh yeah,
which I agree with. Yeah, it was amazing. You walk away and you're like, even super people have limitations, and we saw that limitation here. And I think that's a really good lesson. I agree with you, LT. That was a good, like a deeper takeaway, I think, of the movie for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I personally enjoyed when I was watching the film and he was in his apartment and he got a package from Wayne Enterprise, and it was a flash drive, and he put it in, and it was the footage of his dad, but it wasn't good evidence because he didn't lift up his head was down, and if he just lifted up his head, all of this would have been done. And I was like, bro, just go back in time and lift his head, go real fast and go boop.
Exactly.
Right? So that was like my kind of my worst part, but then good part, because at the end, I was like, they did it. That meme. Woo, woo, right there it is. Then right at the end when he figured it out, and I was like, yeah, he did. He figured it out, and
but
he went back and moved everything. And then going back and then seeing his mom and having that moment with his mom and hugging her, I think that was a really good highlight for me. It was I'm a sensitive dude. I may look a little, whatever, but I'm a sensitive dude, man. So
I know you're sensitive.
I cried right when that happened. I was like, I just cried. But yeah, that was probably my highlight of the entire film. So it really.
You want to know? You want to know how sensitive I think you are? You're
Yeah.
wearing a Selena t-shirt.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, dude.
Right in the
Salinas,
fields, buddy.
man.
Yeah.
Right in the
Yeah,
fields.
dude.
Yep,
I
yep.
miss her, bro.
Yeah. BD BD bum bum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Anybody else have another portion that was kind of a highlight outside of Keaton?
I have that highlight and no and or like complete opposite. It was a highlight, but it was also kind of a low point because it kind of pulled me out of the highlight.
Yeah.
But it was Keaton related,
You could say it. Go ahead.
unfortunately. Okay. So it was
highlights.
LT. You already had said that was the death
Oh,
of Keaton's Batman. That's the first Batman death that we've got on a
Yeah.
movie ever.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, that was such a big thing. Not only was it Keaton, but in that moment when he went back for the second time and was like, there's nothing we can do to fix this, is there? This is that intersecting moment that will not change no matter what. You know, as Reverse Flash is kind of running around and trying to still change it, he's like, nothing can change this moment. You have to die. And I kind of expected this going into it. I was like, they're gonna kill Keaton, and then
yeah.
you know, finally that's it for Keaton. You know, kind of properly send him off. But then by the third time around, and he kept going and going, it pulled me out of it, and I was like, just let it be, man. Like, and he keeps trying to save Batman, and it's just not gonna happen.
Well, I hope there's hope for Aquaman that Keaton still is available. I hope that's not the end of him after that death.
Right. I think him looking at the Flash and them looking at each other was like DC's head nod to like, this is the end of Keaton. You
Yeah.
know, this is it cannot go on like this.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do to stop this.
Yeah.
Probably due to budget, but
And cost.
Lauren
Right.
said Kira got the sun and became Supergirl was like one of her highlight moments. Where
What's
you could
that?
just literally see Lauren saying,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because you could just see her muscle mass becoming, you know, instead of going from the emaciated mess she looked like when we first see her in that sunless area, and then when the sun hits her, it just starts to fill in. I was just like,
Right. Well, just like in
okay, I'm here for this. It's all right.
the Paradox Flashpoint where Project Superman, where he was that weakling, you know,
Yes.
until he got his power. Yeah, that was a good nod, or you know,
They adopted that very well.
Man, that was awesome. She also said Keaton looking like the dude with long hair and the beard at the very beginning was pretty iconic, which I
old
agree.
man Batman.
You know, we knew Keaton was in the movie, and I was waiting for him to pop up, and then I saw the guy with the long hair. I'm like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
Until it dawned on me, like, holy crap, that's Michael Keaton.
Right.
Like, Alfred let himself go. Come on now, Alfred, hold yourself together better, buddy. Then it was Michael Keaton. I was, oh, okay, makeup and coming on with that look. Got it. Okay.
Right.
So-
As they were rolling up to Wayne Manor, I was like looking at. I was like, that's 89 Wayne Manor. I was like,
Yeah.
that's gotta be. I was like, good.
Yep.
Down with
when
that.
they, when they walked into the trophy room where Kim Basinger and
Yes.
Alexander Knox,
Yes.
like, who is this guy? A king of the Wicker People? And you're like, that's the same armor room.
Yeah.
So, did y'all notice though that when the Berries drove up to the mansion, that it had a New York license plate and it had Central City on the cab?
Did not notice that.
I noticed that.
No.
There was one of those little nitpicky things. I was like, Central City. Y'all know how far Central City is from Bruce Wayne's manor in Gotham?
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all was in that car for like 3 days, man. Come on. Well, we saw it at the beginning too, where Batman calls in the help and he has to run over a hill, valley, and an ocean to get over there. So it was just like, y'all just took a cab. Come on now.
Oh my god.
Like got off a bus. You're like, yeah.
Right, I know. I was like, y'all should have had the Greyhound pull up at least or something. But
Right.
I mean, a cab? Y'all know what prices are right now? They sure didn't do Uber.
Yeah.
With that license plate, I'm glad I almost didn't see the license plate because it probably would have pulled me out of like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah. I was just like, wait a minute.
Oh,
Hold on.
man. All right,
Show me the
guys,
movie again.
do we think so we talked about Blue Beetle, we know Aquaman's coming. Do we think James Gunn is going to make DC what Marvel was? Because I think we can all be honest, right? Marvel has been known for live action.
Yeah.
the kings of live action when it comes to comic books. DC has always been the king of animated. They do animated way better than Marvel does, and then Marvel does live action better. I think we all agree on that. Do you think James Gunn is the guy, and Peter, to be able to take DC live action to where Marvel once was with the Avengers and everything? Juan, you want to go first?
Sure. I kind of already spoke on it a little bit. Like I said before, I'm just going to sound like a broken record here, but I feel like after watching the trilogy of what is the Guardians of the Galaxy, and at first, you can ask my buddy, I said from the beginning, I was like, I don't know about this Guardians of the Galaxy. And then it ends up being my favorite trilogy in all of Marvel. And who is behind it? None other than James Gunn. So I do absolutely have a lot of faith, and I will put all the money that I have in the bank on him to say that he is definitely going to like, you know, ruffle some feathers, and at the same time going to bring in a new era of what DC Studios is going to do, and then probably might even put DC animated studios on a back burner. I don't know. All their animated stuff is really, really good, but I have the utmost confidence that James Gunn is going to give us some really good content in the near future.
Yeah, well said, Juan. Well said. How about you, LT?
No, I agree. Especially the ones that he's directing himself. Those are going to be fire. I mean, as long as we have someone of his caliber overseeing everything, unlike what we had now in this past, you know, whole debacle with the Snyderverse, we had corporate, you know, bigwigs who didn't know crap about, you know, fans or what they wanted. We have a fan overseeing everything. So I think we're going to see a lot better character-driven movies that, you know, will deal with will, you know, go back to their comic roots as far as storylines and everything. And that's what made comics what they are today, is the damn stories, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we can translate that into movies, you know, if he can translate it to movies, then it's going to be a hit. I mean, Marvel, they followed that pretty much to the T with some of their movies. You know, and I love creative license, but not to the point where you just have a totally different movie.
Yeah.
You know, as far as from its comic source.
Yeah.
And I think James Gunn knows his responsibility, and we're gonna see awesome movies. And I'm excited to see his take on Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, Brave New World. Yes.
Yes.
I will say,
Bold.
though, the director that directed The Flash, I believe, is now the director for Batman from Brave and Bold.
And
so,
what I love about that is that we're gonna jump straight into Damian Wayne. You know,
yes,
and
he's a badass character.
And we're gonna see all the other Robin or incarnations of Robin, but we're not gonna see their version of Robin. We're gonna see Damian, son of the demon. You know, I love it. So I'm excited, and I think Gunn's gonna, you know, make DC back to what it was.
Yeah,
So.
agreed. How about you, Javi?
I was gonna say, I think he's definitely gonna be able. I think that's what he does. I think that's his thing is being able to make continuity happen, and it makes sense and connect the stories to each other. So I definitely think, because that's kind of what they're trying to do. I definitely think it's potential to start competing with Marvel a little bit, you know, and getting their continuity all in check and getting the rest of their ducks in a row for hopefully a brighter future. You know, I feel like with a lot of this multiverse stuff, me and Jake talk about this on our podcast a lot, that we almost kind of feel like with multiverses, whether it be Marvel or DC, that it's kind of a safety net to where they can, and that's kind of how they've been using it. So it really depends on the future and how he takes it. Is that, you know, is he going to, you know, are they going to use it as a safety net, or when there's a bad movie or something doesn't make sense, or they have a gap or a hole in the story? Well, it doesn't matter. It's just an Elseworlds thing on some random Earth that we're never going to touch again, you know?
Right.
So it's almost a little scary for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they overused the multiverse, to be quite honest, in both worlds. I'm a little over the multiverses although Across the Spider-Verse was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I still think it gets a little overused and it becomes an excuse to lean away from canon. So then you can ignore everything that happened in the past of Superman because this is a multiverse and now you could create, again, sometimes you need those stories, but if you use it too much, all of a sudden there's no continuity at all within anything. And I don't know. There's got to be some kind of a balance between the two. I'm sorry, Sonny. What are your thoughts, Sonny?
No, I was just going to agree with that because, like, when you go into the multiverse, like, listen, I love seeing redesigns on all these characters, but when there's no stakes, because we're only going to be in this universe for one issue or two issues, it don't really matter. Again, like you said, Tommy, I loved Across the Spider-Verse. I thought it was great. But there's got to be a point where you just quit trying to do all that. Like, you've got to focus on your core universe and quit trying to bring in everything else.
Well,
quit trying to make everything this big, huge event.
I agree. It works. It's beautiful in the comics, but if you're translating it, it just gets just too much.
It doesn't translate well for live action. It does.
Yes.
And I think that's one reason Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has done so well. You're still in that realm of disbelief, where it's just like, okay, it's animated. I can believe that.
Yeah.
But when you start bringing in the live action, it doesn't translate well. And I honestly don't think that Spider-Man No Way Home would have been as well if it wasn't hitting hard on that nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
It was good, but that nostalgia moment where you see the Tommy, here you see Andrew, and you see
it's Toby.
Toby, thank you,
for me.
my least
Yeah.
favorite. But it was a nostalgia feel. That was that good feeling from when we were young, and it's just like, oh wow, we're bringing it all together. Cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate well, especially if you haven't got a strong, established universe.
Yeah.
For me, I think Gunn is the man to call for this. Going back to what was said earlier, look what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
He took characters that are relatively unknown to comic readers and absolutely unknown to the general population, and made them all a household name.
Yep.
Dude, I can walk into a random place, normal people close to our age, and say, I am Groot, and they're going to be like, Guardians.
Yeah.
He's the one who can bring it together.
Yeah.
He's the one who has the vision. He has the backing of David Zaslav. And of course, Peter Safran in on this too. I think he's going to be there to help balance out the extremes that we know Gunn can go with.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful universe.
Yeah.
My question is everything going to be able to connect the way they hope?
Yeah.
Doing the animated, live action, and talking about video games? That's a tall order, especially when you bring in the video game.
Yeah.
Video games take years, if not decades, to perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't think this 10-year plan will really be able to handle any kind of video game on that real big level.
Yeah,
Might be a little
especially when
side mission for Batman.
they're
or
always
Superman.
pushing back video games. Like the Suicide Squad that was supposed to be out last year, it's already pushed back to next year.
Yeah.
And I wanted. Have you seen the gameplay, the trailers?
No.
Looks good.
No,
It's
I
a
haven't.
beautiful game. But
Yeah.
they keep on pushing it back. Ugh.
I wonder if they're pushing it back to involve it in the Gunverse. That would
Maybe.
make sense.
Could be.
That would make sense. That'd make a lot of sense.
But that game is, I think, it tied into the Arkham Asylum verse. It's still got Kevin Conroy in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Good feels right
Rest
there.
in peace, Kevin Conroy.
oh, I love
Yes. Yes.
That's Batman right there. That's
That
Batman.
right
is-
there.
That's our animated Batman. Yep.
Yes, for sure.
And the funny thing is that's a generational transition of generational. That happened in the early 90s, and
Yeah.
it went straight on through the mid 2000s. I think the last movie he did was what, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah. Not too long
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it literally dropped after he passed away.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, and
like
then
that
again,
is a
he came out
multi-generational Batman.
on the Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Arrowverse. He would play
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
He
Yeah.
played himself, yeah.
Yeah.
He-
What the hell?
Fantastic.
You know
Everybody
you're
knows
play
Kevin
yourself in the movie.
What a legend.
Yeah, there's only like few people like Mike Tyson who plays themselves in movies. That's pretty awesome. Lauren says she agrees they can bring back the DC, but they need material experts to keep the lines authentic and accurate. And she
That's where
does.
Marvel's failing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe
That's where,
that.
she thinks Gunn is really good at making emotional connections with the viewer through characters. That's his strong point. So agree
We
with
cried over a tree, y'all. We was crying over a tree.
that.
Tell me this man ain't got it. He got it, y'all.
All right, to kind of close things out, guys, the other movie that came out that we're not going to spend a lot of time on because this is mainly about the Flash was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Does anybody think the Flash was better than that?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I actually liked Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse better than the first animated one, and I thought the first animated one
Part
one
one was great.
animated movies in a long time. So
Yes.
they killed it on that. I thought I got so excited when I walked out of that movie, and so pissed off the way it ended. That, I'm ready for part two, man. I thought they just did such a fabulous job on that movie.
At the ending, the first
My
my first watch through of it, this
Yeah.
dude, like 3 or 4 rows in front of me, jumped up and started, WTF, man? Y'all didn't tell me this is part one. I was like, bruh.
I found out the
If
day
you
before I
read
went to
just
see
says
it.
part one on the poster.
What's
Yeah,
that, Javi?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't know it
go ahead,
was a part one either. I didn't know it was a part one either. But my favorite quote in that movie is, he's like, "Everybody's trying to tell me how my story is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing."
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That gives me
Yeah.
chills every
Yeah.
time I hear it, man. Yes, I love
It's such
that
like a
part.
punk rock attitude,
Yes,
you know?
like,
Great,
nah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
my whole thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen how much a Spider-Punk series is now? The comic series that I think they had a 3-part series a year and a half ago because of this movie. It's crazy right now. Spider-Punk is blowing up. Spider-Man India just came out. Like Marvel is going to make a lot of money, I think, over the next.
Oh yeah,
month.
his action
The
figure
Spider-Verse is going to
alone.
help save their butt right now.
In fact, I think Funko's doing a Spider-Punk exclusive pop
Oh,
right
really?
now. Yeah, I believe so.
I'm gonna have to go order that.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Look
go.
at him.
Juan.
There they are.
What?
There
Yeah,
we go, man.
I got him.
Bring it. Bring it.
Keep them mint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that movie was so awesome, man. And although I enjoyed the Flash, for me, that Spider-Man movie was top notch, man. There wasn't too many low points.
How they
There you
did
go.
Ben Riley
Right.
though. How they did Ben Riley though in the movie. That's
Right.
Loved it. It was the dude from what's his name? Andy Samberg, Lonely Island.
yeah.
I loved it, man. And then the other guy from Lonely Island was in it as well, and he played. Forgetting who he played. I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw it on Google.
There were
I
so
thought it was
many,
great.
so many of those guys. Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Comparison wise, I don't think there was a comparison. Like I
Yeah.
feel like this was I don't know. Like it's comic book genre, but I feel like it was completely 2 different genres.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to compare the two.
It is. I mean, they're different for sure, but I mean, what is Sonny? You might know, or Juan, because you guys have a really good channel when it comes to movies. Where did Spider-Verse end up in dollars? It hit like 1.2 billion, something like that. Really?
Into the Spider-Verse, it came in at I think 1.4.
Yeah. What is it?
1.4 billion
Wow.
to date right now.
Damn.
So that
Wow.
as of right now, if everything ended, that would be 1.2 billion more than the Flash.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Wow.
I really don't. Going back to the Flash, I really think it's going to have a hard time because here's the thing: opening weekend is one thing.
Yeah.
Nobody pays attention to opening weekend. It's weekend 2.
Yeah.
With weekend 2, I think it's going to win this weekend. I really do, but I think it's going to be close to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse again. But I think weekend 2, we're going to probably see a 70% drop in attendance.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, because there's just too many movies this month.
Yeah.
This movie, this month has incredible movies every weekend.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer,
It's going to be up against.
Always a
Mission
tough time.
Impossible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Last
Yeah,
week
my
was
co-host and I.
Transformers.
last
Transformers
week.
did really well. I
That was
was
a-
really surprised
Yep.
at how
It was a
well
good
it
movie. I saw it. It was a great movie.
I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it was a good movie, but
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but I gotta
am
go.
such a stickler. I'm like, y'all got this gorilla running around the same size as a pickup truck, and nobody has seen it in 500 years. Y'all got to stop. Nobody believe in that. No. Stop it. Y'all had a plane land in a back alley in New York City. Ain't nobody on the news. Jesus, take the wheel.
Tony,
Lord have mercy.
you gotta divorce reality, man.
I can to a degree. I can believe a truck turned into a robot, giant robot. But when it landed in the back alley of New York in 1994, sweetheart, we was not watching TV that hard.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well, speaking
was
of
good,
Transformers, everyone paying attention to Robert Kirkman and what he's doing at Skybound and Void Rivals that just dropped,
Boy,
which kept a secret. Like no one understood what this comic was going to be about, and then it dropped. And then we found out, IDW lost the rights to G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yep.
We did not know that it was going to Skybound, which is Image Comics. It's Robert Kirkman's brand under Image Comics called Skybound. So now he's picking up Transformers and G.I. Joe, but he's creating a world around it called Void Rivals, which will tie into the Transformers. So you got to read Void Rivals right now, which was really good, but I got so excited, and Robert Kirkman kept it a secret until the comic book came out in the comic book stores. Incredible.
Dang.
So if you grew up like me, crying when Optimus Prime died in the Transformer movies in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Boy, you're going to be excited about this because they're going to tie in Transformers, G.I. Joe, and then this Void Rivals, which are this whole other world that's surrounded around Transformers. Check it out, Void Rivals. It was dope. Awesome first issue.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
check
definitely
that
have to.
out.
Anytime you recommend anything, man, I just immediately I'm like,
Dude.
I gotta go check it out, dude. You got
Yeah,
amazing recommendations.
It's so cool. I got chills.
You said Void Rivals?
I think that's what it's called.
ID Rivals?
Yeah,
Right.
pull it right here. Hold on, guys. I got it
So-
right here.
You all saw Transformers, or who? Did anyone see
I
it?
have not.
I have not
saw
seen
it.
it yet
Okay.
myself, but yeah, Void Rivals.
There you go.
And it's in stores now. It dropped last week on Wednesday, so you could probably still pick it up. I think there's about 6
Bro.
variants, but it is dope. And
Dang.
and the way it ends, you'll see how it all ties in with Transformers, man. It's awesome.
Dude, that cover is dope too, man.
The cover is tight. I was thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy when I first saw it
Yeah.
Mhm.
because he has that same kind of helmet. But yeah, check it
Mm.
out. You guys will enjoy it. And if you love Transformers, you got to read this to understand the new universe that they're creating around Transformers at Skybound.
My wife gonna get on to me now. Y'all giving me too many suggestions to go pick up stuff.
Like I
Y'all
said,
have me
my
on-
wife still thinks I'm sponsored. So
Right. They just keep sending them, you know.
I don't know how they
Yeah,
I can tell them no.
That's why I got to go in my room.
right. That's
Oh, man. Well, guys, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed the time together. We do have a couple more movies coming. I'm hoping that we could get back together again. Maybe this group, maybe have Lauren jump in
For sure.
because she brought up some really good points next time.
Yep.
So Lauren, if you're still with us, next time you got to be on the show with us. We're going to be talking Blue Beetle. I think it'll be a lot of
Good.
fun. I think that's the next comic-related movie, right? Is Blue Beetle?
Correct.
Yep.
I think so.
Yes.
And then Ninja Turtles.
We have Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of like 45-plus-year-olds going nuts right now with Transformers, Ninja Turtles. We're like, yeah!
Bro,
Let me tell you. Yes. All the yes.
we're
Yeah,
amped.
All right,
I've got
guys.
20-year-olds who are calling me and like, hey, when are you going to see this movie? Because we want to go with you. I'm like,
Exactly.
y'all realize I'm old enough to be your dad, right? And they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
but you're cool.
All
I'll write
good,
that
all
down.
Right.
Well, guys, everyone that's watching, please make sure you you follow Juan at Juan Reads Comics. Also, Juan likes movies. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
he has two. So make sure you're following Juan. Make sure you're following LT at House of Geekery on TikTok, Instagram. You're following Collective Comics on Instagram and TikTok, and of course my boy Sunny Monkey Review. And then it's Sunny what on Instagram?
The Sunny Givens on Instagram, and we also have a private Facebook group. Only thing you got to do is type in Monkey See Monkey Review, look for our logo, and we'll add you in.
Sweet.
Nice.
Right on. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Really enjoy the time. Always love you guys and love watching all your content, man. If you're not following these guys, you're making a mistake, man. You'll learn everything you need to know about movies, comics, and action figures.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Thanks for
Till
having
next
us,
time,
Tommy.
man. Have a great Father's Day, and we will talk to you all soon.
Later.
Alrighty.
Take soon.